The important thing that you need to do is to believe that you're able to set yourself apart by investing in yourself. My name is Rutendo Rwashe Mukunda Mutanguna, and as always, it has been an absolute blessing and an honor joining you on our show. Catch you next week for Meet the CEO. Bye-bye.
The struggle, the bigger the breakthrough. I had to get on my knees and started praying to Jesus. Not a loser, I'm a winner. I'm a win till I die. In the valley of the shadow, I see the light which is God. I'm not just working for bones and bronze, I'm working for God. In the name of Jesus Christ, I know that I'm a living testimony. Life is what you make of it, is what you get from it. Life is how you make it, life is what you take from it.
Eswatini Biggest Bride 2023 siyahla siyavungula mhla ka-8 July eMavuso Trade Center kusukela nga-10 ekuseni kuyawulamla kusa. Ukhona Reese Madlisa, Mharimbe, Sbu the Drum DJ, Fantasy, Mapi, Madamza, Lady Z, Mr. Kangaroo, Anglicali, Testo, Zulu D, Linda Dlamini, ISCT, DJ Kwani, Ling100 emalangeni litikiti kuphela. Akhona ePizza Club and Grill. What in a business utothengisa imidlalo yebantwana ne-car spinning. 2023 Eswatini Biggest Bride. Shaya manje ku-7684 7634 kuvagabandi. Uyilethelwa iPhilani Maswati ibambisene nemsakato wakangwane.
It has just gone 8 o'clock Central African time. Good evening and welcome to the news bulletin at 8. But by Eswatini TV, I'm Sandy Poingwane. I'm with Nomaklabe Zonkambule. We're coming to you live from the Hospital Hill Studios in Babane. For your top stories at 8, let's take a look. The Deputy Prime Minister says children are key to the country's economic development. The Minister for Agriculture says government is committed in supporting women and ensuring that they have equal rights as men. The Acting Minister for Natural Resources and Energy has officially commissioned the Pugutu Singen potable water supply and sanitation at Lozita. Hello again, and now for the news in detail. The Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku says children are key to the country's economic development, and the Deputy Prime Minister was speaking during the commemoration of the Day of the African Child at Lubulini.
I have a right to access to internet, to be mind open, to gain more knowledge, and to develop my reading and writing skills.
This year's theme for the Day of the African Child is the rights of the African child in the digital world, whereas the government of the Kingdom of Eswatini and different stakeholders met at Ndutwagazi area under the Lubulini constituency to celebrate an African child. The Deputy Prime Minister Themba Masuku encouraged the involvement of parents in the development of their children for the safe use of technology.
Basonzele kubantwana ngoba nabangakasonzeli kune damage levelako lapho ngoba wonke umntwana ufuna ukuthi aguide. Nawubuka umthetho we-Children's Protection and Welfare Act uyobuka section 18 uyachaza ukuthi irresponsibility yemntali noma lolo luse umntwana ngwekuthi amguide noma ameluleke atomkhulisa amdevelope ngendlela lefanele.
UNICEF country representative Amina Mohammed said technology is a chance for the government to give children their needs, whereas her speech was delivered by Inaki Shongwe.
The Convention of the Rights of the Child clearly states that none of children's rights take precedence over another, that they are indivisible. This means that we need to make every effort to progressively fulfill every right of the child.
World Vision Eswatini director encouraged the government to include every child in the digital world.
About technology penetration in this country, and we found that actually over 90% of adults own a phone. So meaning technology penetration is a reality, and we need to be talking about the issues of inequality when it comes to technology.
The Deputy Prime Minister also said the government is set to amend the Children's Protection and Welfare Act. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I'm Samgal Suekoza with Fuminkosin Senisa Lubulini.
The Minister for Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, says government is committed in supporting women and ensuring that they have equal rights as men, including land. Mabuza was elaborating more on the theme for desertification and Drought Day, which is themed at Her Land, Her Rights.
Land degradation and desertification is still a problem in Eswatini, which affects agriculture and the environment. The Minister of Agriculture and other stakeholders, including the Environment Authority, held the Desertification and Drought Day 2023 under the theme Her Land, Her Rights, which speaks to the inequality of women and denied access to land, amongst other things. The Minister of Agriculture, Jabulani Mabuza, says women still face challenges such as displacement, loss of income, gender-based violence, food insecurity, being forced off the land they live in, amongst others.
Women are the drivers of food security and family nutrition, livelihoods and economic growth. Challenges such as land insecurity can be dire for women. They sometimes face risk including displacement, loss of income, food insecurity and gender-based violence, being excluded from inheriting land, or not being recognized by local authorities and made family members, result in some women and children being forced off the land that they may have lived on and farmed for decades. This unequal access to opportunity combined with less secure land rights contribute to a land gender gap that has adverse economic and social impacts on women and their families.
Mabuza says government is committed to supporting women and putting them at the center of the solution, since they are the solution. Reporting, I am Kiani Msiwitz Muvashongwe at the Mavuso Trade Center, Manzini.
The Acting Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Jabulani Mabuza, has officially commissioned the Pugutu Singing and Potable Water Supply and Sanitation at Lozita. Mabuza says the country aims to ensure that every Liswati has access to clean water.
The Pugutu Singing Potable Water Supply and Sanitation cost 2.5 million Malangeni with support from Water Aid. This commissioning of the water project comes as good news to Lozita residents who do not have water in the community. The project will benefit about 350 people of the area. The Acting Minister of Natural Resources and Energy, Jabulani Mabuza, says it is important that the community of Lozita achieves 100% sanitation coverage. He says government has made it a priority to provide clean water and adequate sanitation for all.
Asemanenge amaswati leswele manga kepha nje ke sekuningi nalokwendiwe kulawo maswati lamanye la benefitako nakuthiwa nje sesifikile thina ku 70%. Uyabona ukuthi kusho ukuthi lempela level sokumile liyithatha serious indzaba yemandi. Basekhona ke labakhalako akusho ukuthi vele sekuphelile ngoba kutawuphela phela kukhala nase achieve 100%.
Lilunga lePhalamende lenkundla yaselutselutse Vusiswali licele ukuthi lamandi aphatheke kahle kude akhonse. Lutselutse, Member of Parliament Vusiswali, asked the resident to take care of the project for its sustainability. The Water Aid Country Director Ncamiso Mhlanga says the project took about 12 months to complete.
utawubenefita ke labo bantu labang 350.
Such projects are a step towards ensuring that Eswatini achieves Sustainable Development Goal number 6 of clean water and sanitation. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Kian Msibi with Smova Shongwe, Lozita.
The Principal Secretary and the Minister of Information and Communications, Pesha Dube, represented by Sabelo Dlamini, said that the government is committed to breaching the digital divide. The PS was speaking during the commemoration of the Day of the African Child at Lubulini.
The government says the month of June provides a chance for all stakeholders to reflect on what remains to be done and to renew the government's promises to the children of Eswatini. The PS in the Ministry of ICT, speaking during the commemoration of the Day of the African Child in Lubulini, said government is set to make technology safe for every child, and he was represented by Sabelo Dlamini.
This level of digital interaction and dependency comes with a number of positives and negatives. The fundamental rights of children in the digital era include having access to the internet and the protection of their rights while online. To this end, government has taken requisite measures to overcome digital exclusion. That includes providing free and safe access for children in dedicated public locations and investing in policies and programs that enable all children to have affordable access to digital technologies in educational settings, communities, and in their homes.
PS in the Ministry of Education, represented by the Director of Education, Dr. Lenhle Dlamini, said the ministry has digitized secondary school syllabus.
We have vowed as a ministry to digitalize curriculum. Again, I'd like us to appreciate UNICEF, who walked the path with us to come up with a platform referred to as a learning passport. As I am speaking to you today, we have populated that platform with curriculum for senior secondary, all the core subjects.
The Deputy Prime Minister encouraged children of Eswatini to use technology to develop the country's economy. Reporting for Eswatini TV News, I am Samgal Suekoza with Vuminkosin Sinisa, Lubulini.
The Director of Agriculture, Nelson Mavuza, says post-harvest estimates shows a decrease in grain production from 127,000 metric tons to 86,000 metric tons recorded this year. Director says contributing factors include storms and heat waves that hit the country last year.
When the season started, we had a serious issue with delayed rainfall and poor distribution, which caused most of the fields to be replanted in some cases, or including in some places that the population was not very much impressive. And midway through the season, we experienced some heat waves as a result of climate change, where the temperatures were exceedingly high, so as that most of the crops, they actually failed. We remember that we came on TV to mention that certain areas, including Bomadlang and Mbisi, and some parts of the Middelveld and the Highveld, where we actually are getting most of our maize, were heavily affected by the high temperatures. The tolerance level for most of our crops is about 27 to 30 degrees. So if the temperature goes to 38, the crop completely dies off. So the whole system of that plant dies. So in some of the pictures which we gathered from the various RTAs, we found that the maize was already at a very critical stage, which is flowering and seed set. And at that temperature, 1 day is enough. The whole plant dies completely. So that is the factor that caused most of our maize to lose the yield that we had anticipated. The other important challenge which we recognize is the frequency of hailstorms, which were striking exactly the same places that I'm talking about. So the maize that escaped the heat wave were also affected by the hailstorm that actually devastated a lot of crops throughout the country. So for that reason, when we carried out our pre-harvest assessment, we find out the maximum yield that we can get is 86,000 metric tons, which is short of what we gathered last year, but on the 5-year, 10-year average, it's the normal yield that we get.
The Taiwan International Cooperation Development Fund, ICDF, has trained nursing professionals on maternal and infant health. This aims at reducing high mortality rate.
Eswatini is faced with the high infant mortality rate. This has seen the Ministry of Health springing into action to reduce the high number of mortality rates. The Taiwan ICDF has educated health professionals on infant mortality. Yang Chi-Swen, the Taiwan ICDF project manager, explains the expertise they've brought to Eswatini.
We provide a capacity building to the health personnel, and they strengthen their service capacity in the clinic and the hospital. So to do this capacity building, yes, from the beginning we sent 24 instructors to Taiwan to receive the 1 to 3 months training. So after this training, they come back together to conduct a local training here to more health personnel in the country.
Zwakele Ngwenya, a health professional, says the infant mortality deaths were stressful to the Ministry of Health. They are grateful to the Taiwan ICDF.
Kwekuqala ti-trainable nurse kubafundzisa ngekuthi umuntu lotetfele unakekelwa kanjani, ikakhulu nasekuletigaba la kunetifo letitsite noma tinkinga letikhona, umlekelela noma umsita kanjani kuze ukuthi alapheke, sigweme nathi tinombolo esitibone tabomake kulesigaba sekutetfala kubelenga nekhulisa abantwana basishiya even.
He says they've gained knowledge and he hopes that they will work hard in hospitals and apply themselves. Reporting I'm Kian Msibi with Nelson Dlangamandla in Mbonga Dube, Manzini.
Only 6% are able to survive after retirement. Now, this is according to a research by Old Mutual. Employers and employees have a role to play in ensuring that employees are assisted in saving money for retirement. Old Mutual had a retirement readiness conversation with stakeholders at the Royal Villas and Eswatini on Monday.
According to Old Mutual, many people would strive to make ends meet after retirement. Old Mutual gathered stakeholders, including employers and employees, to talk about how employees can be assisted upon retirement. Banomile Hlachwayo, the business development manager at Old Mutual, says companies can approach them to talk about how to assist their employees upon reaching retirement age.
Where a lot of people are saving, but the money they are saving is not sufficient to sustain them through their retirement age. So today we have invited all the key stakeholders to say, partner with us. Let's have the conversation from when a person joins the workforce until they reach the retirement age. Everybody should own this conversation. As an employer, you are here to empower people to be able to replace their retirement when they reach the retirement age. But also as an employee, you have the role of making sure you also supplement the contributions that the employer is saying put towards your retirement. So we are saying everybody should join this conversation, and we are also challenging the employer to say, let's not wait to reach 65 or 55 when we then call people like Old Mutual to come and offer financial advice, because at that point in time a person has already made sound financial decisions towards starting a business or whatever.
Old Mutual encourages talks between employer and employees on this because currently only about 6% are able to survive after retirement. The million-dollar question is, what happens to the remaining 94%? Reporting I'm Kian MCB with Smuva Shongwe at the Royal Villas Eswatini.
Churches can play a role in career guidance and ensuring that the youth in the churches choose right career paths. Now, the Anglican Church had a career talk with its youth.
As Eswatini battles the high unemployment rate, especially amongst the youth, the church can play a role in ensuring that the youth is advised in choosing the right career paths. The Anglican Church held a career talk with the youth in the church and how they can be assisted. Present was Women in Engineering CEO Bongagile Matsenjwa, who says challenges of the youth both in and outside the church are the same. Therefore, the church can play a vital role in fighting unemployment.
Whether outside the church, and then imvolesi sama nathi kuyenda as women engineering ukuthi sikhone ukufundisa abantwana ngema career opportunities kakhulu bo science So ngikolo kube siseke sena ukuthi okay asihlanganyele nabo ngoba vele sikanye kahle ukuthi sikhone ukusita abantwana ngeke kube info yami umuntu munye kuphela singakusi sonke sisebenzisane kanye.
The church warden Menzi Matsenjwa appreciates such talks, saying churches must not only focus on spiritual aspects but can be present for the youth in other ways.
Kakhulu ukuthi abantu labasha babe exposed for ukuthi kuze bakhone kwenta kahle esikoleni kumgcoka ngani, and so it's very much important, and ngicabanga ukuthi kungaba kuhle ukuthi now and then ama-career talk abe khona esomvenini abe embrace so that baba ne-opportunity ukuthi why kumgcoka kufuza.
Paul Nkambule, one of the participants in the career, says it was indeed insightful.
Basikhuthate kakhulu ukuthi asidimisele kakhulu kuleyo field lokuyo ukhona ukuthi ucecesheke kabanti akudingi nokuthi uze ube ne-funding ungakhona nje ukuthatha yona le mali lencane loyisevako ungete kwayo uqhubeke ne-course yakho utokhona ukuthi ube semakethe emsebenzi.
The youth is in the larger bracket of the unemployment rate in the country currently. Reporting I am Kian Msibi with Nelson Ngamando in the Mbonga Dube, Manzini.
Well, with that, we shift gears and take a look at more news in the world of business as we get a sense of how markets fared today in a financial report. Welcome back, and now we take a look at news making headlines in the world of sports. Eswatini Premier League Development Officer Banele Masondo says the country needs more development leagues to produce more players of high quality. Masondo was speaking during the crowning of the Under-19 Premier League tournament where Royal Leopard Juniors were crowned the champions.
This past weekend, the Premier League of Eswatini hosted the Under-19 tournament grand finale at the University of Eswatini. The Eswatini Football Association provided funds for the tournament. Royal Leopard Juniors were the eventual winners of the tournament, and PLE's development officer Banele Masondo is emphasizing on the importance of junior tournaments.
Nasifuna ukuphumelela live ebholeni kumele si-investe ku-development. I-Royal Leopard ke le team lewinile namuhla lesikrowna namuhla from I think 2014 ngiyo le yawina le team lewinile le for I think has been together for close to 6 years.
Sibusiso Fagutse, who is Leopard coach, and his captain Fundo Makakula, believe that some players are ready for the Elite League.
We will give the head coach so that he can assess them. Then if he says he's going to use them, then it's okay. But then if they're going to register them and loan them out, still it's okay. But we have a lot of good players here.
Khona kumele kulungiswe lapha nalapha kepha nje ngathatha ngatoto imbili titandla lelithuba labanginike lona sebangibide.
Moving on with the sports roundup, be the year to a hand cycling adventure across the continent where they raise awareness for people living with disability from 5 countries.
Doing it to raise awareness for people with disability, to make them believe in themselves, to raise funds also for the organizations. In the countries that we're passing, there will be grants that will be given to the different organizations that help people with disability. Okay, so we're on a 5-country-long journey, a hand cycle adventure that started in Namibia, and that's finishing Namibia, Swakopmund, Indian Ocean, and we're finishing in Maputo, in the Atlantic Ocean to the Indian Ocean in Maputo. Okay. It's a 40-day journey, and we're covering almost 2,500 to 3,000 kids.
The cyclists started from Namibia, passed through Botswana and South Africa in Eswatini, heading to Mozambique, covering a distance of 3,000 kilometers over 45 days. Reporting for Eswatini TV Sports, I'm Linda Dlamini, Babane.
Well, with those sports news, we hit the home stretch of the news bulletin at 8 at Eswatini TV. But before we go, here's a quick reminder of news making headlines tonight. The Deputy Prime Minister says children are key to the country's economic development. The Minister for Agriculture says government is committed in supporting women and ensuring that they have equal rights as men. The Acting Minister for Natural Resources and Energy has officially commissioned the Pugutu Singen potable water supply and sanitation at Lozita. Beautiful Kingdom of Eswatini, that's all we had for you from the news desk. We shall now cross over to the Weather Center for a detailed weather report from us and the rest of the team at Eswatini TV. For now, it's good night and God bless.
Eswatini Biggest Bride 2023 siyahla siyavungula mhla ka-8 July eMavuso Trade Center kusukela nga-10 ekuseni kuyawulamla kusa. Ukhona Rhys Madlisa, Mharimbe, Sbude Drum DJ, Fantasy, Mapi, Madamza, Lady Z, Mr. Kangaroo, Anglicali, Testo, Zulu D, Linda Dlamini, ISCT, DJ Kwani, Ling100 emalangeni litikiti kuphela. Akhona ePizza Club and Grill. What in a business utothengisa imidlalo yebantwana ne-car spinning 2023 Eswatini Biggest Bride. Shaya manje ku-7684 7634 kuvakabadi. Uyilethelwa iphilani Maswati ibambisene nemsakato wakangwane.